Music and Taliban #1. Trigger man. We gonna sit up. We gonna sit up.
Oh, this is People, Events and Places with your man about town. Freddie Wenjora is my name. I tell you, I tour Nigeria to give you all the good things in this world. I have a man by my side. Have you seen the Mr. and Mrs., the cartoon strip of Vanguard newspapers? Or have you seen Sarge, that pot-bellied police sergeant who is causing trouble all over Nigeria? This is the creator. Dada Adekola is with me, and here we are going to talk about plenty things about the cartoon industry. We're going to talk about what inspires him. We also talk about the place of cartoons in newspaper business, and then tribute to the elders, those people who started it all. Dele, Jegede, Josie Ajiboye. Now, don't go nowhere. Just stay right there.
Music and Taliban #1. Trigger man. We gonna sit up. We gonna sit up. I sit up. Somebody let's gonna sit up.
As a youngster, everybody has inspiration from things around you. In those days, we used to have these chingums pictures, where you have actors from the Western movies, cowboys. Because of the love for those things, you want to create your own character. Then maybe copy the images on the walls with charcoal, on the ground with brooms. Then I came across some comics books. In those days of these superstores of Leventis and Kingsways, while people go there to buy ice cream, and sausages. You can only find those things in those stores that time. But during the holidays, pupils go to all those places to have fun, especially when it gets to Christmas time. So we came across comics like Tiger, like Buster, Whoopi, Asterix. There was no Asterix that time. But all these comics, inspired one to draw. You want to copy exactly how your heroes on those comics look like. And that was the first inspiration to become an artist comes in. It never occurred to me to be an artist, because we used to see artists as those who wrote sign writers. And nobody want to become like them. Everyone want to become either a lawyer, a doctor. It's everybody's dream. But as time goes on, when I was in class 3, the art teacher then saw that I was doing better in art. And he called me and said, "Why don't you take up art?" I said, "Me? God forbid." Until he invited me to Yaba Tech. He was a Yaba Tech student at that time. And I was their painting studio to see what they did. I was amazed. From that time on, I was monitoring the requirements to become a student in Yaba College of Technology. So I
actually enrolled at Yaba Tech.
Yes, I did. But before I did, I took the first JAM form in 1977, thinking that could also help to getting into art. But my mom just told me that time that she did not have the power to send me to school. I was downcasted. So I had to work for 1 year. I worked at Federal Government Press at Ajegunle here. That's what it was. They call it apprentice printer. So
you enrolled?
Yes.
Because you were doing arts then?
No, I just wanted to work. My mom said there was no money, so I couldn't go to any higher station as it is. So I enrolled at Government Press to work. It was a ministry, so we closed around 3 o'clock. That time I took a form for Yaba Tech and I became a part-time student.
Immediately?
In 1979, yes.
So you were very sure that you would pay your school fees?
Of course.
Because you are working?
Yes.
That was so much determination.
It was, yes. It was a bit easy at that time. Well, you could pay it from your salary, but as time goes on, 90% of those who are in class with me were also part-time students who are working. We saw that the kind of work we produce as a part-time student would not match those people, the students,
the full-time
student. So we switched, we took another form and switch again. And
to go to
yes. We started all over from, that was 1980-81. All of us. We didn't give the.
So did you condemn the 1 year you had done?
Of course, it was. Of course,
or there was no waiver.
OND was a 3-year thing. So until you complete your 3 years, you couldn't get the certificate. So we just abandoned that 1 year
and begin
afresh. But we had all the experiences and stuff. All the lecturers, and we could do things easier. Just that the quality of work you produce as a part-time student would not match
what they were doing. What do you think was wrong? You were coming from home and they are in the studio. Maybe they live in the studio.
My brother had to leave Ajegunle 3 o'clock. Go back to home. I was staying at Iponri. I had to go there, touch some of my works, take off my works and resume again at 5 o'clock. You couldn't settle down to do something better. It was something else. So we switched over. So did
you now lose your job?
Of course, I resigned. I resigned.
So how was the money coming from now to pay for your?
That was a very big question. My mom one day my mom called me and said, "Did you say you want to go to school?" I said, "Yes." "How much were you saving?" I said, "How much were you saving?" I didn't answer. I said, "Well, because I used to hand over my money to her."
Ask you?
Yes, it was because I was not actually saving. I was Ajegule, if when you go here right now, you saw that they sell a lot of things there, like wares, like jeans and shoes. Almost half of the money will have gone for that one before you get here, and I was earning 220 naira. So my mom said, "Okay, did you even give me money, your mother?" I said, "But you know that it's you that I will come and take money from when I'm broke now." I said, You see, from now on, I'll be taking 10 naira from your salary. I said, "Take it." I said, if you finishes, I will borrow money from you." So when I want to go to full time, I won't say, "Okay, now that I want to go to full time, where's the money we are going to?" I said, "We can manage now." I said, I have friends. We manage. I can. They say, Is that how you want to plan your life? Now she now brought those 10 naira that I was giving her. She said, "Take your money," and I got almost about 300 naira. I said, "What do you say you are taking?" Say, "Who needs your money? Go back, go and do whatever you want to do." So that I went back to school.
It became a backup to you. You were happy.
I was happy. I was happy. I was happy. So when I got to Yaba Tech, what started? It was when I got it, I know that all those things I've been doing at home were child's play. So it was there, but we had fun. We combined a lot of things with art. During holidays, nobody goes home. Where are you going? When there's assignment, you are neck deep in the assignment. I was doing almost 11 subjects. I had to submit each subject. I'd finished 3 weeks. You think 3 weeks is a long time? So I passed through Yaba Tech, and it was fun. I was a comedian in Yaba Tech. I was the comedian of the school. I was a cadet officer.
Tell me a little bit about this cadet, because there are some of your pictures where you're wearing a.
Okay, yes. I just love tough things, So I went for it. And it was designed those days for those who want to make a career in the army. It will all the things they used to do at NDA were given to us. We could shoot guns. We know how to assemble guns. We know how to march. They gave us everything, and the section was Brigade of Guards, the one at Victoria Island. The one with you see them with plume, with red and green plume. Brigadier guards are those soldiers that used to guard the palace when there's war. You take care of
the president.
The people at home. Yes, I think this was Babangeda's regiment. So
maybe because it was his era you were talking about.
What?
It was during his era.
No, it was actually from that regiment.
Okay.
There's if you look across this area, around my two here, you find the one that is signal.
Yes.
The signals are the one in terms of communication. I think that. I think Marwa or the one.
No, what is it? David Mark.
David Mark. So we have section like that in the army. So it was just to encourage young undergraduates to take up. One of us went there, and I thought that it wasn't easy. You know what happened? He went with his OND. We were just finishing our OND there. He came back, and we asked him, "What is his name again? What happened there?" He said he passed every test, endurance test, marching, everything. I said, "What happened?" They say he has too much protein in his blood.
That was why they relieved him.
Now we understood later that if you don't have a general to sign your paper,
you may fail. So who signed your paper?
I wasn't the one. It was my friends. I didn't make the attempt. Somebody else did.
Okay.
But he came back to tell us that story.
Okay, but those who wanted to become permanent, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Now, if you want to, we didn't know the tricks that time. It was you have to get somebody to sign for you.
If you were signed, you'd have joined the agency.
Oh, of course, you'll have become yes now. And at the end of your this thing,
your
studies, and at the end you become, I think, a lieutenant. Yes, for second lieutenant, 1 star.
Okay.
If you finish your HND, I think or you have a master's or whatever it is 2 star.
Wow. Then it continued and continued.
So you
now left.
You now have a lot. So I left Jabatech. I did my youth corps at then Gongola State, now Taraba, I think. I was
Taraba.
I was one of those volunteers that went to Mambela Plateau. Mambela Plateau was something. It was an experience entirely. It was another world. From Lagos to Mambela Plateau was 110 naira. But 50 naira ends at Yola to tell you how difficult for you to get
to Mambela.
To the map, it was 50 naira that take you there. Half of the money you travel from here to Lagos to Yola.
Now imagine what it will be today. The cost.
It was one of the most dangerous routes to get to the place. Dangerous.
In terms of the road?
Yes, it was DTV. That computer used to, that was money. If you fall, you are falling into an endless pit.
Bottomless chasm.
Yes. And the place was so vast that the prisoner there, if they come out to walk, they don't force them to come inside. They come at your time because you cannot escape.
There's a prison there.
Of course there was. Before you could descend the plateau,
they'll find it.
Was like you go from this place to Abeokuta.
So no point trying.
So no point trying. So they just come. If you finish your come inside. I do. But it was a very beautiful place, but very expensive. That is the area where I begin to respect our Igbo brothers. They were there
selling.
They were trading. And all those things people were making younger with in Lagos State were brought there for students and for teenagers that have not left that place since they were born. People got there at the age of 33 and they were still there. I remember about 3 or 4 people of ladies that said they would follow me to Lagos. Why am I going to keep you in Lagos?
So at what point now did you begin to think of cartoons?
I have somebody who also was a cartoonist. His name is Bayo Dulano. He also worked there.
Worked in Vanguard.
Bayo, of course,
Okay.
he now went to politics. Is now Honorable Bayo. Bayo was like an octopus. I opted for cartoon because I thought I could have time to paint. If you go to Bayo house, Bayo school sculpt. Bayo he studied painting at Ajapatek, was far ahead of us.
Or he majored in painting.
He majored in painting. He could do gates with iron.
Iron.
You see him welding it. He had a barber's shop. He cartoons for Vanguard and also for Tribune.
At the time.
Of course. He has a fashion design house. And what else was he doing that time?
And now he's a politician.
And he's also a cartoon. He's also a painter. So he inspired me that if this guy could have time to do all these things, I should be able to do the same. So I opted for cartoon. Apart from the interest that I got from the comics, I have read a lot of comics. A lot. That is why I could handle every aspect of cartoon. But I was mistaken. Each time I got employed in one place, they will find that I had other talents. So they got, like in Vanguard, I do Mr. and Mrs. I do pocket cartoon. I do editorial cartoon. I do the Sage. I created the kiddies page cartoon. I also created the inmates. So I just unleash the talent I had in me in Vanguard. But I also work with vintage people magazine.
At the time.
In fact, I started with vintage people. I started with Punch. But then I introduced me to Punch. I had to wait for about 3 years before I could get a job as a cartoonist. After service.
Okay.
After service, I was looking for. They offered me jobs in advert agencies. I hate to be caged. Advert agency will pay you money, but you may not see the light of the kind of work they give you. They have brands. And as long as you have people who could draw like you, they make sure that they pay you, but you are there. So that also made it possible for me to paint. So when my editor gave me the job at Punch, he gave me a letter to Demola Oshinobi, who was the deputy editor at that time. So I started a job there. I met my classmate, Muzebong. Muzebong started as graphic artist at Punch. I met him there.
He's a classmate at Yabatek.
At Yabatek. He started painting too. We graded at the same time. So I also met Deke Moses, who was doing the Omoba that time, the Omoba cartoon. Omoba started from Dotungbo Iga. When Dotungbo Iga left for Concord, Omoba is, the name Omoba in Yoruba means male, a prince. In Concord, he started Kabiyesi, which is the king. So somebody took over from him, which was Deke Moses. When Deke Moses left for TV college, he went to further his medication. Muzebong, who was my classmate, took over. So we were in the same place together. But only God knows what happens. A year later, they asked me to leave.
They asked you to leave?
Yes. They say my services are no longer retired.
So what were you doing for the past 1 year? For the 1 year you stayed?
I was doing editorial cartoons. I did sometimes I draw cartoons, sometimes illustrations. So there was another column created by someone called Good Splash. 2 girls will be speaking on issues. I took over that one. But only God knew what happened. I just got a letter that I must leave. I didn't want to ask any question. Because I thought I was doing well. I left. I went to art consultancy, which took me to some printers at Shomolu. So I got a mad that one for almost 4 years. At 4 or 2 years. The cartoon bug came over again. So I was freelancing for vintage people. Alberto Hams was the cartoon editor for vintage people that time. and we became friends. So when Abatola Ohams left for Today's Choice, another software magazine, I step in as the full-time cartoonist
for Vintage
People
with Muyiwa.
Muyiwa Tibaya.
At that time, had Muyiwa been here? He's been here. No?
Muyiwa was the first editor. He left. He formed Prime People. I think he wasn't. Things didn't go well between him and those who
he funded it.
So he has to fund his own, which is
Vintage
People. So I joined them with that. I did in Jones. They moved down to Ikeja. The then editor-in-chief was Mr. Fola Rogudade.
Of Vintage People.
Yeah, but he was also in Vanguard before.
Okay.
Before it was part of those queue or those people that left to go and form the people
with
Muyiwa. Okay. So I met him there, and I saw that I could draw. So when he left Vintage People to come to Vanguard again. He became the Sunday editor here.
Yeah.
So he started asking for. So we need to have some illustrations that he was not satisfied with the kind of illustration. So I started doing some part-time job here.
Dropping it for
him. It was one of those things that Uncle Sam saw. That he said she called me over. And that was it. I came to Vanguard. And he said I should do 1 or 2 editorial cartoons. So I did 2 editorial cartoons. I remember one of them being used on the front page of Vanguard. That time, Paul Adams was there. Paul Adams, who is now one of our top actors in Nollywood. He was the cartoon editor here at that time. Paul Adams studied graphics at Yabatek. So he also met at Yabatek. He was about 2 years ahead of me. So I met Paul here. I didn't know this studio. I know there was a studio. I knew there was supposed to be a cartoon department, but I was not keen in coming to this place. So we had a crowd at the weekend desk. Obi Wakama, Dayo Benson, John Wukocha, Benson Opowo.
When was this?
That was 1994.
Yeah.
1994. So I didn't even know that a cartoon department existed.
Even when you came?
We were there. We were doing everything there.
So you do the one for Fola?
Yes.
And for Sunday?
Yes, for Sunday. There was no front page cartoon at that time because somebody was handling Mr. and Mrs.
That was who?
Who was Somi Abejide. Somi Abejide took over from this. I will remember his name now. I remember his name. I took over from him. Who was the?
Did you go ahead to publish?
Who?
Did the guy go ahead to publish? The guy who took over from him?
Yes, now.
Akapa?
Akapa, yes. The guy who took over from Akapa was Somi Abejide. So Abejide was here for a long time, you know. I was just doing my thing, illustrations, and literary cartoons. One day, Uncle Sam just came and said, now that we are here, have you seen anywhere one cartoonist work for only one title of the paper? We are supposed to be working for all the titles. I said, I didn't know. He said, now that you know. Also, I was doing editorial for Saturday, for dailies, whatever thing. Until Fola came, Fola said he would like a front page cartoon for Sunday. I said, he said, is it not me that we're looking for a job? Now that I got a job, we are complaining. My friend go and give us some concept for the front page. So I came up with a character called Broken Bottles and Sarge. I grew up near a police barrack at Chapmari. So I knew a bit about the police. So I thought they would choose the broken bottle because, you know, under the pretense of being tipsy, you could say a lot of things. And it would be easier for me. They condemned me, they said they don't want that one. He said he wanted Sarge. I was complaining. He said, "What am I going to get at it?" He said, "Why did you come up with the concept? You know you don't have the idea." He said, "Go and start with the Sarge." He said, "Okay, if you think because I'm using the editor's fiat on you, let's call others." He said, "All of you call me." Say, out of these two concepts, choose one. And they saw and they choose the Sarge. And that's how the Sarge began.
That was in 19...
Actually, 1995. 1995.
Okay, what you're saying is, Mr. and Mrs., you took over.
Yes, I was.
But Sarge,
I created the Sarge. I created Sarge. So
now looking back now, since 1995 to 2005, how old is Sarge now? How 2025? How old is Sarge now? Calculate by yourself.
This mathematics.
And he's still alive, oh.
He's alive.
He's still alive, growing old.
That should be around 25 years.
Or more. 95?
95?
It's beyond 25. You see, you hate mathematics.
I hate mathematics.
Let's not go there.
Yes.
Now, let's go to the fact of cartoon being a major instrument of communication in papers and the world. How do you see it?
Well, it's not difficult to see. It's a thing that comes. It has been a part and parcel of a newspaper. When you have a news or you have something that the society worries about, or what worries the society, the cartoonist comes up with a concept, and of course, it expresses people's view with satire. Whether you are for the people or you are against the people is another thing entirely. But take this hardship, for example, for instance, you can't do your cartoon and say everybody's happy.
When people are crying.
Yes, now. But I was saying somebody who was saying something, but you can do satire by not calling somebody a drunkard. But you can draw somebody with 6 bottles of beer or 6 bottles of alcohol that was picked up in the gutter. And it's why did you pick him up? I say you saw him staggering. You didn't call him anything.
So you told a big story about the drunkard.
So that's what cartoon does. And
I think it is more deep, because you can see something that a features writer can do in a page, you reduce it to a strip.
That's what I'm getting to.
You must be too talented.
That's what I'm getting to. You not every artist is a cartoonist, but of course every cartoonist is an artist. That will bring to the fore the talent of a director of a movie. But this time, you choose your character, you choose your prop, you choose your dialogue, you choose the location, and you put them inside a box, and must have some meaning. That's what a cartoonist does. And you see, it has gone over the years since if I didn't see anything, I am aware of the one or what cartoon did during the military era. The military felt it. They knew that something was coming from the media, apart from the news.
You also gets them laughing as well.
Yes, of course. Of course, I remember Obasanjo when he was leaving. I think he asked Uncle Sam to get him all the cartoons. In those days of the military career, all you need to do is just to draw somebody with a pick cap, put 3 tribal marks, put mustache, and that's Obasanjo. The same thing with Abacha. Put his cap on, put his goggles there, and also his tribal marks there, and military gear. You have done Abacha.
So interestingly, this business has grown. Early 70s, 60s, 70s. There are founding fathers. You pay some tribute to some people who gave you people the line. Dele Jegede, Jose Adiboye. What are they? Can we know how far they influenced you?
Dele Jegede has just celebrated his 80th birthday, and he is the chairman board of directors of the Cartoonists Association of Nigeria. I am the president. we having an exhibition, an ongoing exhibition for him now at the museum. The first thing I ask people to do on the platform is to caricaturize him. I'll let you have the pictures later. We did about 16 caricatures, and somebody attached 100,000 as prize to it. Delegated from his own add another 100,000. So it gives more energy to the competition. They are one of those things. They are one of the works now that is being exhibited.
So how do you measure? Who are the judges to check who will collect the 200,000?
Well, we divided 200,000 among. Yes, I started it. I did the Mr. and Mrs. for him. I did another caricature, but we exempted all the others of the association. Okay. I was not qualified to. I just did my own. I was not qualified as young people here who did theirs, and they split the prize money.
Okay.
Delegate is now Professor Emeritus in the US. He has such a heavy citation.
Is it Nigeria to celebrate this?
He's not. He told us he won't be around. So it was still going on. Okay. There are a lot of people. The Kenyan Damson were there. The Biodolanos. Boy Igbero is also in the US. We now work for Disney World. There are a lot of people along the line who inspired us. Dr. Mbiga is there. Jola Osho is there. Ebon Lawyer is there. OBS just passed on.
Who's that?
OBS.
OBS, okay. Yeah.
He passed on. So those are very, very foremost cartoonists.
See, when I begin to see Mr. and Mrs. and see Sarge, they have ruled out since 1995, like you said. Will it be difficult for you to mention one or two of your best trips? Because when you get back, you look at them and say, "Oh, wow, how did I think of this?"
I remember the first Sarge. The Sarge was pointing a gun at a civilian, and the guy raised up his hand. And the conversation started from the civilian. He said, "I'm sorry, sir, it was a slip of tongue." The Sarge said, "Shut up. Come to the station and explain what you mean by good evening, officer. How market?"
So that was what he told you.
Yes, now it's market. Yes, now. You meet somebody on the street. During those days, the checkpoint duties were still on. So I think the man would have said, okay, good evening. How market too? He said, you should come and explain at the station what you mean by that.
He said it's a slip of tongue. Interesting. It's been nice talking. Yes. I don't know whether we can continue talking about the Sarge, about Mr. and Mrs. Say hi to people who are following you.
I get mails every day. Yeah. Surprisingly, people will ask you, why did you win an award for this Mr. and Mrs.? I say, my award comes from people who mails me every day and express their delight about the job. I say hi to them. I say, may God bless everybody. Amen. God bless everybody. Because if you are blessed, you'll be able to do other things. There are a lot of things that money will not allow you to do now. Those who have not eaten very well will not buy newspaper. You may now watch TV, but then newspaper is now that people are they will have their phones to get the hard copies. Is very so. God bless everybody. I thank them for being a loyal fan all these years, and thanks to you, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you.
Music and Taliban #1.